Hello everyone, it's Ekota. How you doing? Wait, today let's talk about Gasai Yuno from the Fictional Diaries. This girl is actually actually very psychopathic. But for some reason, I kind of like her. Now, I don't like her because of a psychopathic reason. I'm not going to say that I'm going to date or marry someone that is this psychopathic. Though I don't know if you're in Eketa's position, what will you do about her? But the thing is that she didn't really mind killing anybody, as long as you know Yukitera.
How can she talk about taking a life like it's some random errand?
But if you know Yukitera, which, by the way, even Yukitera himself, she actually even tried to kill him at the end. Now, it's for a very logical reason that if she didn't kill him, the world will end, so she had to kill him so that somebody will continue the world. Actually, time travel back because she couldn't bring why they died. So, the thing is that either her or Yukitera had to die because they were the only two out of the diary people would have left. Now, the story of this special diary is that it's actually kind of a very good anime. At least for this world that we are in, because there are multiple worlds. But for this particular world that we are in, the 12th member of the diary, it's going to be how I'm going to explain it, came up with a plan for Deus. Deus is the god. And he was about to die, so he needed someone to take over or the world will end. So the 12th member of the diary was one that came up with a plan to give a game to select the new god where there will be 12 members. So the only one person would have been left. But the problem now being that the second, which is Gasai, you know that I'm talking about right now, the first Yukitera that she loved, and it was like the fourth was not interested in being god, though the fourth later changed his mind when he learned that his son was going to die, wanted to become god so that he could save him. But at the end of the day, the god didn't really tell that they could not bring back the dead, which I'm going to say that Deus is kind of like a bad person, because what's the point of that? Why not just choose a god? Why would you want to tell people to kill each other before you could set a god? But the thing is that, guess how you know, like, because people were coming after the first, he was the first one to kill the first diary member, which was his teacher. Actually, there was a sociopath that was murdering people, psychopath that was murdering people for particularly no reason. He was just a serial killer, and he was the one that killed her with the help of Gasai, you know. So they were not looking for him, not because of that, because they also wanted to kill him to become god. And at the end of the day, both of them ended up killing a lot of people, because originally Kitera was like, I don't want to kill, I don't want to get hurt myself, but at the end of it, he now reached a time where he will also do anything to also protect, you know. Like, he reached a time where he now liked her almost as much, or maybe even more than she liked him. Like, he was willing to do anything for him, either kill to protect himself or kill to protect her, and her too was willing to kill to protect him and her herself. So anyone was like literally in the way. Like, even his father, Yuno, was willing to kill his own father, even if he wanted to hurt Yukitera. Why? Yukitera always had his limits of who he would kill, but at the end of the day, he even ended up killing his friends if they would get in his way. So literally, he dated point where anyone was in the way, and if you just get between their love, either of them was willing to kill you. Well, it's better for you to run into Yukitera, because at least you could reason with him. But for there's no reason. In fact, before you talk, you could kill him. Like, you will be dead before you even finish your explanation. So at the end of the day, like, the thing is that they say there's a difference between psychopath and sociopath. Is what I saw is that, like, psychopath and sociopath both exhibit antisocial personality disorder (ASPD), but differ in behavior and origin. Psychopaths are generally cold, calculated, and charming with limited empathy, often due to genetics. Sociopaths are more impulsive, erratic, and aggressive, often shaped by environmental trauma. Now, the thing about Yuno is that while growing up, she was like abused by her parents. Like, her father was usually not around, and her mother like actually acted out because of that, and for other violent reason. So she was usually locked up in a cage. So one of the times, she now locked up both her father and mother, and she was actually even adopted in the cage, and they died there. She didn't kill them, but they died out of hunger because no one was maintaining them. Which was, she killed them actually, because if you lock someone in the cage and they die of hunger, you kill them, not just by, you killed them, is what you're just going to say. So the thing is that you're going to say that she's a sociopath because she was made that way, but she actually exhibits the characteristics of a psychopath because, like, she's very calculative. Like, she can be reasonable. Like, Yukitera could talk to her and reason with her. One of the few people, or even not the only person that could even reason with her, but she can be reasonable if you're talking about Yukitera at least. And she's calculative. She can pretend also. Like, during her time in her school days when she came from the second world, she was like, people liked her. She was calm. She was intelligent. That kind of people liked her. Didn't even know about her behavior. I didn't know that she was like sick in the head. So she's very calculative. She's not like the erratic, I don't really know what I'm doing. She really knows what she's doing. So she said that she has both psychopathic and sociopathic abilities. But if about her being caused by trauma, I'm going to say that she's more of a sociopath, but she behaves more like a psychopath. For regardless of what you want to call her, she's highly sick in the head because, like I said, it didn't really matter who she had to kill. Once it's not Yukitera, which even at the end of the story, she had to kill Yukitera. That's why the fact that at the end of the day, even if you save this world, you are just going to go back to the previous world and start from where it stopped. So you're just going to infinitely live that kind of, you will go back and kill, like she had to go back and kill the previous Yuno that was in the world she went back to. Like the Yuno that just killed her parents, she went back and killed her. And that was what she would keep on doing. The next Yuno will now go and kill, and the next Yuno, and that, so that they will keep on continuing the timeline where they will just go and kill the previous one and move on. So it'll just be like a relief memory you have to live with infinitely for like few months. I'm not sure whether there are a few months that you have to leave that self-diary stuff. So I don't know whether that is worse than letting the world to just end. I don't know, but at least if she knew all of this, she would have just told all of them not to play the game. Because if they all knew from the start that you cannot bring back the dead, most of them wouldn't have even wasted their time in playing the game. Because she was actually God when she won the first one and became God, and found out she couldn't bring back the dead when she actually killed Yuki in the previous stage, and so that she could not bring back the dead. So that was why she had to go back and do all of this, so that she will beat Yukitera again, and that will be what will happen again, that will be what happened again, and the cycle will continue forever. And then you ask what made her obsessed with Yuki. Like, she had a bad parenting with her parents, and she actually had a kind of a situation with Yuki where they were like, well, let's get married. It was more of a joke to Yuki, but she actually took it seriously and said that she wanted to marry. So she wanted to leave so that she would end up one day marrying Yuki. I don't know whether I think that that's sufficient enough to pour heads over somebody to be something that is obsessed with the person, because she's highly obsessed with Yuki. Yeah, she would literally even want to kill you if she thinks that you're going to take Yuki away, which you understand that kind of heavy obsession. But let's skip that part of the story. I don't know whether it's sufficient for you to see that she was obsessed with him, but if this film, the anime itself is very good, and I just like the character for some reason. I don't really know why I like her, because she's kind of very psychopathic, and if you see someone like her in the real life, that will really be a bad thing. And like I said, do you think that you are going to like her back if you were Yukitera and even do the things Yukitera did? Though Yukitera, he didn't do it because of Yuno, because he reached a stage where he too became a sociopath that, because of trauma, like his father killed his mother, and who exactly killed his father again? Yes, his father was shot in front of him, because his father was shot in front of him, and he had to kill people that shot his father. So you understand that he too went through a lot of things. So it's not really like I'm gonna say his fault, but it's kind of like the kind of situation is stage that most of the people that turned bad or were bad before the film started was for I don't know about the reason why his teacher that was killing people, but for most of them there was a reason why they turned bad. For it was her parents. For Yukitera, it was his parents. That kind of stuff. And even for the one that bombed their school, was it 11th? Was her name? It was also her parents. Not her parents bad behavior, but she lost her parents. So maybe losing your parents is actually a very bad thing. I'm not laughing about leaving your parents. I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about this movie. Losing your parents is actually very bad. I don't know whether you traumatize you to that point, but it's really a bad thing. Either growing up without a particular parent, like a father or mother, or growing up without both. It's not really a nice place to be. Number one, finances will be difficult. Number two, as us human beings need parents. So that is what it is with you guys. Thanks for watching.